Hello, the internet.
Hello, internet.
Look what we found.
We found him outside.
Ta-da!
Yeah, Daniel is on holiday this week, so we immediately... I think we were more excited to be like, let's ring John Smith and get him on, because we tried last time. You weren't available.
Ginger English Dan.
Yeah, so we come to Ginger English Dan.
How's it going?
Yeah. And Lilybet is joining us behind the camera.
Hello.
And BV, as always.
And BV, as
BV
always.
baby.
Legend.
And he has said, on air, have sound and vision. So
Look at
it's
that.
Yeah.
started positive.
That's how we like our videos to be.
Amazing.
Cool. How are you, John?
I'm really well, thanks.
Good, mate.
Yeah, it's so nice to be here again. Last time I was here, you were helping me build my mega board
Yeah.
that I took on that pedal show. And have since, sadly, and I told you about this, I felt bad, I dismantled it because that's what we do. Right?
Yeah.
We build perfect boards that do everything you need.
Journey, not the destination.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We get
It's an adult train set, you know?
Well, an adult train set that I had to ask you to spend about 3 days programming. and then I've destroyed it. And I've built a different board. So I'm really sorry about that.
No, not at all. Yeah, it's fun. Gives us a reason to hang out. So
Yeah.
that's nice.
It's really nice to be here.
Who have we got on, Lilybet?
We have lots of people. We've got Seventh World, Matt Swanton, greetings from a hot and humid Massachusetts. Justin Charbonneau.
Hello.
Michael Gilberto, Matt V from Bind Panic Devices. Good afternoon, people.
Just people with cool names.
Yeah.
Johnny Rooster, Simon's here. Lots of
I should
people.
change my name to Johnny Rooster.
Yeah. He's
really-
taking your stage name, I think,
It's done,
already.
isn't it?
Yeah.
He's got that one.
Yeah, damn it.
Sorry, bro.
Yeah, stay
You
with
could be
John
Johnny
Smith.
Rooster like 1-2 or something.
Well, my middle name is Royston.
Royston
So
or Broyston?
Royston.
So you're not
John
far off.
Royston.
Not far off,
Johnny.
Johnny Rooster.
So, yeah, sorry, Johnny. You're done, mate. Can we have that handle back,
I'm
please?
reinventing myself live on. What, are we on air or?
The
It's kind of
the
air.
internet.
It's like a
yeah.
compressed air.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we're live on it.
We're live in compressed air.
Oh,
Yeah.
man. Yeah, because, I mean, your name, unfortunately, seems to attract loads of fake accounts. I feel like... I mean, I was texting you the other week. I've had a fake John Smith on TikTok start messaging me.
Yeah.
And you were in America at the same time as apparently being at home, so that's confusing.
And he wanted something from you, right?
Yeah, he wanted money from me.
Yeah.
Weirdly. Or you wanted money from me.
I want money from you.
Yeah, okay.
But he also wanted money
Yeah.
from me. It's strange. I've consulted a couple of sort of social media specialists about this. Why am I getting all the fakes? And they don't think it's the name.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Because there are sort of other combinations of first and last names, which if you put them together algorithmically I can't remember what they said. I wasn't really listening.
Yeah,
I
of
just
course.
sort of asked them and then switched off.
Yeah, that's what the
Which is-
point of professionals.
Yes,
isn't it?
Exactly, yeah. Let them talk.
Yeah.
I'm in my happy place now. I was thinking about pedals.
Yeah.
Anyway, I don't know what it is, but there's a whole bunch of them. And like every couple of weeks, someone will text me saying, "Oh, John Smith is trying to get me to put money into a PayPal account."
You got a really bitter ex or something.
I really hope not.
Yeah.
I don't know, or maybe it's just someone I know who's trying to stitch me up.
Yeah, maybe.
You know.
I can neither read nor write, so
Yeah, you're very right.
I'm hoping it sort of helps push my career forward, but I don't think it does.
no.
I don't think
Yeah,
it does
any
me
press is good
Yeah.
press, right?
Any press,
Yeah.
yeah. Any scam is a good scam. Yeah.
I think Gandhi said that.
Right.
Yeah. Weird.
So,
Yes.
pedals.
Yeah, let's talk.
Pedals
We've
are
got some
fun.
new pedals to talk about first before we get into the life and times of John Smith himself. So, where would you like to start, Mr. Bishop?
Up to you, surprise me.
Let's start with Last Gasp's Drop, because they haven't done anything in a long time. I wasn't really aware of them as a company, to be fair, so I'll let you...
Were you not?
No, I
I
hadn't.
don't know if anyone else knows of Gasp Laboratories. Just a crazy Japanese pedal company. I don't think they've released stuff in a good 3 years, and all of a sudden they've dropped like 4 new pedals.
Wabam, wabam.
No, I
I
hadn't.
don't know if anyone else
Wabam.
knows
Straight
of
up.
Gasp
So-
Laboratories. Just a
The
crazy
first one I talk about, I can't
Japanese pedal company. I don't
So
think they've
Lizzie,
released stuff in a good few
give it a go.
years. 'Cause I haven't got it written down.
All of a
in front
sudden
me.
they've dropped.
I can't do.
No,
4
we'll
new
leave it on the
pedals.
screen, I think.
It's 89.
No, I
I don't know if
don't-
anyone else.
what
It's known as
about-
89.
No, straight up.
So basically,
Laboratories.
anyone that doesn't.
Just a
the first one I talk
crazy,
about, I can't pronounce.
pedal company.
Kebadate.
I don't
So
think they've
Zoom
released stuff in a
Mass
good few years.
CK.
I haven't got it written down.
All
in
of a
front me.
sudden they've dropped.
I can't
Jufas.
do.
No, we'll leave it on the screen.
Or
I think.
89.
I don't know if anyone else.
So basically, there's two of
So
them.
basically,
Oscillus, anyone that doesn't
Hachi-
oscillating. The
Hachi-
first one I talk
Hachi-
about, I can't. In a box, and the two circuits kind of fight each other for sort of control of the signal, and you end up with these really interesting, chaotic oscillations
So you
kind of
talk
like
about
what you're playing
in a
kind of
box.
This is a metaphor for the two of you.
Exactly.
That's
the two circuits
exactly.
fight
That's
each other.
exactly.
in this basement room.
Did we accidentally manifest this pedal into
Yeah.
existence?
Yeah.
Right.
But it's two of the same pedal. It's the original pedal is got essentially the same name. It's known as 88, and which is on the screen now,
Exactly.
which
Exactly.
in this
again
basement room.
just wild.
Did
So
we
each one of
accidentally
those
manifest this pedal
six
into
switches,
existence? Right.
basically
But it's,
introduces
it's
like,
two of the
a
it's two of the
circuit
same
bend
pedal. It's
to
the original pedal
signal
is-
chain.
got
So
essentially the same name. It's known as
everything
88.
from really gated,
And,
which is on the screen now,
Exactly.
which
Wow.
is to out and out noise, to even silence. Some of the switches, if you put them in a different order, you literally don't get anything because it sort of destroys the circuit. So he's got two of those, and he's put it into the same box. And then they sit in parallel to each other and they kind of fight. And I think we've got a clip.
Yeah, should we hear it?
Some of the switches, if you put them in a different order, you literally don't get anything because it sort of destroys the circuit. So he's got two of those, he's put it into the same box. And then they sit in parallel to each other. I think we've got a clip.
Yeah, should we hear it? Yeah, should we hear it? But that's that.
That's amazing. I really dig the aesthetic.
It's
cool,
cool, isn't
right?
it?
Really good.
Have you heard of Last Gasp?
No, but,
No,
but I'm going to be looking at them now very late into this evening.
They've got a lot of really interesting pedals. Actually, there's another one that comes to mind is called the Misty Cave. That's this very strange distorted reverb that sounds a bit like a metal box.
Oh, interesting.
Nice.
And they've got a bunch of other weird like white noise generators that are like envelope controlled and all kinds of really interesting, like super left of field effects pedals.
The kind of stuff I'm gonna buy and then put my acoustic guitar through it, and it's gonna hi. The kind of stuff I'm gonna buy and put my acoustic guitar through.
Yeah,
Well, man,
and it's all gonna melt and explode.
I remember like Dan. Oh, it might have been Simon actually that I think linked us up originally. But Dan being like, John's like an acoustic guitar player. Like, do you want to do a rig for him? And I was like, cool. It's going to be like a LR Bags preamp.
All
Yeah.
the pedals will be brown.
yeah.
Yeah. And a flint maybe to really push the boat out. And then you arise and you took like a microcosm and a Quad Cortex out of your bag or whatever. And I was like, have I got the wrong guy here?
Yeah.
But it's man, what you do is so cool. I think
man.
I said this to you before, but I think with the Quad Cortex and stuff, I feel like you think of a certain type of player, right? Using
Yeah.
the like a QC, you think of like more modern metal. So I think what you're doing is completely game changing with that.
Well, thanks, mate. I got the idea from Jen Butterfield, who is a trad acoustic guitar player in Scotland,
Cool.
and she uses it for kind of travel, fly gigs and things. And I got talking to her about it and how she uses it. And she has a mic going into it and a pickup, I think, or it did at the time. And it just got me thinking about how I could tweak my setup accordingly. I have a stereo pickup coming out of my guitar. So on a TRS cable, tip is the piezo and ring is the mic.
Cool.
And then in the Quad Cortex, you can isolate them, EQ them separately, bring them back together, and then put effects on each pickup before you sum them back together.
Yeah.
That's wild.
So octave pickup, an octave effect on my piezo pickup, but then like a delay on my mic that kind of goes check it, check it, check it, check it. and then you put like a quarter note delay on the whole summed thing
Right.
with the octave, and suddenly it sounds like 3 guitars.
That's so cool.
And it's great. And I kind of, I was thinking, well, maybe, I don't know, maybe this is the perfect acoustic rig. And I've flew with it a bunch and traveled with it, kind of waiting for it to die, because it's got a screen on it, right? So the old school touring guitar player in me was really hesitant to take one on the road.
Of course.
Because I'm used to these sort of 3 kilo acoustic preamp boxes from the 90s. And so far so good. It hasn't died, and it sounds really good when you plug it into a PA.
That's wicked.
Yeah, I've kind of found a way to use it that so far I haven't looked at any of the the archetype the plugins. The plugins, right? I haven't looked at any of that stuff. It's kind of over my head. I see it as a really good way to balance pickups and get the best sound that you can out of them.
That's awesome, dude.
It works.
That's really
cool.
I think it's all
pretty
just
great.
about being fit for purpose, though.
Exactly.
Because there's so much power in that.
Yeah.
And routing, like, because a lot of what you're suggesting is to do with routing, right? You want to do creative routing between different pickup sources and things.
Right.
And to do that in hardware, it becomes way more complicated than just having it in one box.
Well, as Dan discovered, right?
Yeah.
So that first rig that he built for me, we had a preamp, we had a splitter box, a physical octave pedal just for that one pickup. Then it was routed back to the through the effects loop of the Lely splitter box, and it was I mean, he was visibly sweating trying to kind of map it out, and I was making it really complicated, but the sound that he got at the end was perfect. And then the Quad Cortex, just basically I've just kind of drawn in Dan's rig, and and it, like you say, it's just, you can make it as intuitive as you want, and it's basically the way I went in with this problem. Dan solved it on the big, Schmidt array pedal board, and then the Quad Cortex has just kind of gone and put it on a little screen that doesn't want to break yet. And I've dropped it a couple times, man. It seems to have survived. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, fair play. Yeah.
Like, when did you start experimenting with effects? Like, have you always, or was it fairly later into your?
It was a little later, yeah. My first pedal board was like I was using a D-Tar Solstice acoustic preamp, 2-channel acoustic preamp, that I saw Martin Simpson using. So I was like, right, I need one of them. Bought one when I was on tour in America, and then bought it home. There was like sketchy reverb in venues, and I was thinking, man, it'd be nice to be able to control that. I went down the rabbit hole all by myself without doing any research, really.
Right, cool.
I just went down to the guitar shop. I was living in Brighton at the time. I went into GAC, and my mate worked there, and he just said, check out the Strymon reverb. So I was like, right, okay, let's see. I didn't know anything about it. I was like, 250 quid, are you joking? And then I heard it and just went, oh, okay, take my money. I get it. And that was it. It was the Blue Sky.
Oh, that's wicked.
That's the first proper effect that I bought.
Wow.
I think before then I'd used a few pedals here and there, like, actually, this story is not entirely correct, because when I was touring with Lisa Hannigan and David Gray, I was playing kind of whatever effects pedals. I bought like a basic setup for each rig when I was in guitar shops in America, but only because a guitar tech said, you need a reverb, you need a delay, those are the good ones, go and buy them.
Right.
So I did that, and I didn't pay much attention, but when it came to like putting it onto my own material and like how to get the best sound out of my acoustic rig, it was the Strymon Blue Sky. And then it kind of clicked, and I realized all the stuff I'd bought previously I needed to sell so that I could buy higher end pedals.
Yeah, right,
so
sure.
I just sold a load of stuff that I had that wasn't doing the job. I bought the Blue Sky, the El Capistan, and it went from there.
Wow, that's awesome, man.
To the day that I came in here with like a Zoya, and I remember your eyes lighting up because this guy's like the Zoya guru, and you know exactly what you're doing with it, and I really didn't.
Yeah, but I think once you get your head around it,
yeah.
Like we were talking just before we came on air, once you get your head around it, it is a super creative tool.
Pretty amazing.
And I think it kind of leads itself to what you're saying about the Quad Cortex. I find the Zoya is kind of a more open source version of that, in the sense that it's as easy to break it and do something wrong as it is to do it right. So you just have to be aware of, like, right the way down to
each module's processing time, because you can end up with like phase cancellation that you weren't expecting and stuff.
Right.
Whereas obviously in something like a Quad Cortex, that's kind of taken care of for you.
Sure.
But you can use that stuff creatively. So I've like built a reverb inside the Zoya out of the buffer module that corrects phase. Turned that into like a reverb, because you can stack the time by adding buffer modules.
Okay.
And then you can send the feeds from each of those buffer modules to like back into themselves.
Wow.
And then generate a reverb out of it.
You see why I was like, I need to link you two up.
Yeah.
Because you were using it like a sampler, right? Because I saw you last year in Bristol, the Beacon in Bristol, and you were like triggering samples using the Zoya, right?
Yeah. I recorded just a few loops, and then used the Zoya, which had this kind of beta sampler patch, and my friend Tristan Hume, who I have to mention, brilliant acoustic guitar player, you know Tristan, incredible guitar player and great brain on him for guitar pedals, and he kind of helped me work out how to do it. We had many failed attempts, but then we got it working, and so I was triggering little samples just during songs, little bits of just kind of atmospheric weirdness.
Yeah, they're little like drones
slide
and stuff,
in and out.
really cool.
Little drones and things. Yeah, that I wouldn't have the capacity to do. Like I use on the microcosm, I use the hold button a lot just to get a bed going. Then I have another freeze pedal where I'll freeze a note on top of it. But there are a couple of songs where I was just thinking it'd be really nice to have something, the sound from the record, like the very particular kind of note that whooshes across. And yeah, it managed to do that on the Zoya. Screwed up the timings in a couple of shows, so I'd be playing and then I'd press it and nothing would happen. I'd press it again and then it just sounds like someone in the band has made a terrible mistake.
So you turn around and scour at someone,
An imaginary person.
Yeah.
And it kind of worked, man, for the most part. And when I got talking to Empress about it, I was talking to Zach, shout out to Zach at Empress, saying, yeah, I'm doing this thing, I'm using it as a sampler and it seems to be working. He mentioned it to his boss at Empress, who said, what, he's using it on stage? What?
Yeah, because that was like number 4 software or something, and it was still in the beta, and like all over it was like, do not use this live.
Yeah, very much.
Like, it's a beta. This is just what we're working on, but you were like, you know.
But it worked.
Let's do it. It's fine.
Yeah.
Probably.
Why not? It kind of worked.
I remember when that beta came out, you gave me your SD card to load some samples on it. You'd sent me some stuff that you wanted, and I remember downloading I think clips from Cars. I had Lightning McQueen inspirational quotes that I gave you, and I think you'd given me random speeches or stuff to manipulate, and I'd renamed them I don't know, JFK speech or whatever, and it was just Lightning McQueen.
It's fun times.
Yeah.
Fun times.
Ka-chow.
Maybe I could use that in my gig.
That would be so good.
Yeah.
Just put loads of reverb on it and use it as like a drone bed. And be like, how did you get that sound? You'd be like, you won't believe it.
Yeah. Just have a look at the comments.
It's actually Lightning McQueen.
I do have one question.
Go on.
Hit us.
If I can. From Seventh World, first time joining live. Woohoo.
Yo, hello.
Question. Does anyone at Gigrig or John have thoughts on the Electro-Harmonics op-amp fuzz?
Electronics op-amp fuzz.
As in the Big Muff op-amp.
Oh, the Billy Corgan. I'm going to Google it. I think that's the one. Yes, I assume it's the op-amp Big Muff.
It's a very cool muff variant. I don't know if you've tried it.
It's not my world.
No.
The fuzz pedal. That's why when we heard that thing just then, I kind of went, whoa. I need to get a Big Muff, and I need to delve into fuzz.
Yeah, right.
Because all I listen to when I'm driving is Queen of the Stone Age and Red Fang, and I know that I should have a fuzz pedal. I just don't have one. So
I think maybe I'll just
get one of them.
I think we just became even better friends. Because that's basically all I listen to.
Yeah, I know.
All we've had today is Queens of the Stone Age.
Yeah. Ira Vulgaris was what we listened to today.
Oh,
because it's just so dirty and
so good.
Grim.
Is that what year did that come out? 2018.
At some point in the past.
Yeah, I think it would be earlier than that. Should we have a look?
Is it?
I reckon it's like.
Pretty sure that's the one.
It's got like Little Sister and stuff on it.
2007.
Oh, which is the one?
You think Like Clockwork?
Yeah.
Because that's the album that.
Exactly.
Which is actually my wallpaper on my computer.
So, can I tell you a really clangy story?
Please.
Give us some clangy.
So
Always.
it was one of the best days of my life. So I was in Los Angeles, a little town called Los Angeles, California.
I've heard of it.
Don't know if you've ever... You have heard of it?
I've heard of it.
Real nice little place.
Yeah.
And there's a studio there called Ocean Way.
Right.
And I was there recording guitar for a singer called Joan Baez, who you might have heard of. And
I only listen to Guns N' Roses, I'm afraid. That's all I listen to.
okay, in the folk circles, that's a big like clang.
Right.
Anyway, so playing, and in walks a fella called Joshua Homme.
Wow.
Whoa, and he's about 25 feet tall.
Yeah.
Really handsome.
Ginger Elvis, right?
Oh, he's so beautiful. And he
Because
just,
you're not a short guy, so you to describe someone as tall.
he's got like 3 inches on me.
Really?
Yeah, and he walks in, he fills the doorway, and I go, "Oh, it's Josh Homme." And he goes, "Hey guys, sorry to disturb you. I wanted to listen for a second," because he's a huge Joan Baez fan. Wow. So he
That's
comes
so
in,
cool.
and he just kind of sits there. I'm working with all these amazing musicians. Jay Bellerose is there, and Joe Henry is there, and sit there, and he just kind of sits in the control room while we're cutting a couple of songs. And at the end, he's like, gets talking to Joan Baez that she had a tour manager back in the day that the Queens of the Stone Age used later on, and so they got talking, and he's like, "Oh, do you guys want to come and see the rig?" So we go into we're in Studio 2, and they've got, which is Frank Sinatra's old studio, and they've got Studio 1, which is the big one. And we go in, and he just shows us around the guitar rig and the amp rig, and it's walls of amps, and he's putting his whole rig, driving it through a little 15-watt PV.
Yeah.
That's his thing,
on a
right?
plinth.
Yeah.
And he's got all his guitars, and Troy Van Leeuwen is there, and then Josh is just like, "Well, I'll let you guys get back to it. Thanks for hanging out."
That's so cool.
And then the rest of the week, every time I pass him in the corridor, I was like, "Hey, brother, how you doing?" Oh, and it was like one of my heroes.
That's
man.
so cool.
I think he's written some of the best songs.
Yeah.
Not just rock songs, but
Yeah, just incredible.
some of the
Just unbelievable.
best songs
Yeah.
Oh man,
of
that's
this century.
so cool.
It was amazing. And then I left, and I flew home to Somerset, and it all felt as if it had been a wonderful dream.
Weird fever dream.
The sad thing is that Josh hasn't been back in touch with me. I kind of thought we were best friends.
Doesn't DM you
tough.
back.
He just hasn't called.
Is it because a fake John Smith has tried to get money
I think
from him?
that's it. I think that's it. Yeah. And now that I've told this story, fake John Smith is going to be all over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but that was cool. He was really, really nice.
Oh, that's so cool, man. Yeah.
I should get a fuzz pedal in his.
Well, I suppose if Josh Homme is watching this,
Yeah.
please contact John Smith.
Or
Please.
me.
Please,
I'll put them in
He misses you.
contact.
And
Yeah,
if
man.
Troy Van Leeuwen is watching this, contact me and Jake. 'Cause
Yeah. Got
That
great.
jazz master is the Troy Van Leeuwen.
Mhm.
Yeah,
What
man.
do I?
There were a lot of. What do you call it?
Guitars?
Guitars. There were a lot of guitars in that studio.
Yeah, I bet there was.
A lot of like the funny angular ones that
Yeah.
you like, Jazz
Yeah.
Masters and
Yeah.
Jaguars,
All those funny looking ones.
just on racks, whole racks. of
Crazy.
them. Yeah, they always fall off me. Whenever I put one of those guitars on, it just falls off.
Really?
Same with the Les Paul.
Do you put a guitar strap on, or you
That's
just
where you're going wrong. Put a strap. Try a strap.
Yeah, I don't use my hands.
That's how they get you. That's how they get you.
No, like I bought a Les Paul once, and it just it kept falling off.
Really?
No matter what I did,
Really?
it just fell off every time. I'm
I get-
Telecasters all the way.
I can sort of see that. I guess the weight of the Les Paul
Are
being
you
on the body and
allergic?
sitting back.
Are you allergic to Les Pauls? Is that what it is?
I really like the sound.
Have you got
of
like a negative magnetic field?
Maybe.
Or whatever, and they're just
Yeah.
flying off you.
Yeah, maybe that's why Josh Homme hasn't called me back. But
We've had a comment that I can't say his name. Alan Johans, the producer guy that I think he was in them Crook Vultures
Yeah,
as
yeah,
well with
yeah.
Queens.
Yeah.
He actually lives in the UK now apparently.
right,
Didn't know that.
That's crazy.
That's really cool.
That is cool. Thanks for
Yeah.
that.
Didn't know that. Wow.
Can I move this
No.
No.
horribly
Oh,
warm cushion?
done
I
it
can't
now.
believe you just moved
Oh.
that. That hasn't been moved.
They're not supposed to see this cushion, are they?
No. That's part of
This
the
is
tone.
Dan's lumbar
This is a
support.
hidden-
You've just shown the world.
Well, I have a very strong lumbar.
I've heard that about you.
So,
I've definitely heard that you have a mighty lumbar.
mighty lumbar.
Do we have
The
any
new
other
album.
pedal news?
We do. We just
Not
got
that it's not great
we-
to discuss your
Oh, no, that's
lumbar,
fine.
but
That's fine.
honestly.
Let's
Thanks, Lizzie.
Yeah.
We were
You were
talking about
spiralling.
Queens. We were spiraling, but it was Queens, so I think it's allowed.
Right.
yeah, we'll allow.
Why am I here?
Let's talk about pedals.
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
The other
so
thing we're excited about.
this is crazy. I know it just says bass synth on it. It looks kind of boring, but they've packed everything into this. Literally everything you could possibly want. So it's essentially a subtractive synth with a bunch of presets. Very Juno / Mini Moog kind of vibes. But you've got loads of controls under, like secondary controls. So you can control, you can basically change the envelope more than it looks like you should be able to. So you can do like the whole ducking around a kick drum bass sound where you have like a really slow envelope that all that sound. That's a sound. That's
Ducking. Ducking.
that's a duck sound, right? You've got control of all the oscillator mixes. You've got a portamento control, which is always missed off of synth pedals. I don't understand. Like portamento or glissando is such an important sound within synthesizers, and it's always missed off. One of the things I thought was really cool is you can plug an expression pedal in and blend between two different sounds.
That is really
So
cool.
it's not just like the filter that you can go between like a low filter setting and a high filter setting. You can go between two completely distinct synth sounds and blend between the two using an expression pedal,
Okay.
which is crazy.
Have you got one of these?
Not yet. I will though.
You know all of this just from reading about it.
Yeah.
ADHD.
ADHD.
Is the so the control port on the side, Joe?
You can also use that as a secondary output. So you can put your clean signal out of one output and then split your other output from that. Or you can use a TRS cable and plug it into the main one and then use the
Stereo
other port for another thing.
Stereo cable.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Sorry, stereo cable.
No, just-
I glazed over.
Did you?
Yeah.
And then you can also plug a tap tempo in and it will allow you to switch between the presets.
That's weird.
That's cool, man.
And you've got a freeze control when you hold the foot switch down.
Yeah, I love that.
That's very cool.
So that's a lot.
I love a sneaky freeze
Yeah.
Yeah.
function on a pedal.
And it's got a bunch of different tracking like presets. So you can set it to be a normal electric guitar, a 4-string bass, a 5-string bass, or a 6-string bass, I think.
Nice.
And it basically it's how it can track so well is that they condense down the pitches you'll be tracking
Yeah.
so that it is optimized for whatever instrument. And it sounds great on guitar as well as bass.
Should we hear the video that MXR put out?
Let's do it.
Oh, you guys, it is finally here, and I can finally talk about it, the MXR Bass Synth. Now, I have to say, when Dunlop approached me to collaborate with MXR on doing a synth pedal, I was super nervous. I own almost all of the synth pedals there are for bass out there, and I have found them to always have some kind of flaw, either
long sentence.
in their immediacy.
But that's really exciting. How much?
I was just thinking, I don't know how much they cost.
It's a really nice looking pedal.
It does look really cool. So do a Google.
And there's a lot of form and function in there. I think you've got the choice of
289 British pounds
Which is
from Gear
pretty
for
good.
Music or Anderson's.
Okay.
You've got triangle wave, sawtooth, or square. So triangle wave is obviously super dull, sinusoidal-ish. Sawtooth is classic Moog, and then square wave is more like a modern.
Can you go through each one and say it's like, or it's like.
So that second one is more salty. That second one is more salty.
No, I think he wants you to do
Oh
the
no!
sound.
You just reminded me. You just reminded me. There is a noise source inside it as well.
Can you,
so you can add white
can you
noise.
do the noise for each one, please?
No,
Please.
no, I can't.
You
My
can't?
mouth doesn't work.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It doesn't work.
That's tough going.
It's broken.
I really like synth music, but I don't know what's happening. I like playing on synths.
Yeah.
I don't know how to. I don't know what any of it means.
I don't think it
It's
matters.
sinusoidal.
It's a great word, right?
It's a cool word.
Sinusoidal.
Yeah, man.
I mean, sinusoidal means
And
it's
I'm
literally
probably going to get one of those pedals and not understand what's happening, but really dig it.
there's a bunch of inbuilt presets. So
I mean, MXR stuff's good as well.
MXR stuff is great.
It
You
really,
can't,
it's
and
you can take it on the road and it refuses to die.
and they've been doing it for a long time.
Yeah.
Still going strong.
Yeah. And that's, I don't know. I think that's, for me, that's the thing. It's all of my pedals are a bit battered.
Yeah.
Just from taking them on the road. And the ones that I really love and respect are the ones that can just take the punishment of touring
Totally. Yeah.
and still show up for work and make, for instance, a sinusoidal sound.
That sounds just like. There we go.
Oh, we've got a tennis clap or golf clap.
That was great. Well, there's a microphone.
That was a golf clap.
And they know
I'm
we're clapping.
honestly, I'm here for the golf clap.
Yeah.
Do we have any more questions? Or should we talk about some more pedals?
From Simon, Brighton Guitar Show is coming up this weekend. Are any of you heading down there? So we don't have a stand there.
We are.
But are either of you
Lugging.
dabbling? Oh yes.
No,
you're
we
busy,
are
aren't you?
going the complete opposite direction. We're playing a wedding in Truro, you and I.
Yep. And we're playing at the Vic in Swindon tomorrow night.
Yeah.
Releasing a new single. It's all very exciting.
Yes.
See, that was. Do you see how smooth that plug was?
That was great.
Yeah. Honestly.
Wow.
Wow. Whoa.
Whew.
That's exciting, man.
Isn't it?
Jeez.
New
Isn't it?
single.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
Yeah, lads.
Yeah. Crazy.
Great. I would like to go to the Brighton Guitar Show,
What are you up to this weekend,
but
Johnny
they
boy?
didn't offer me a slot. So
Boo.
yeah,
I was saying Burns.
I haven't been to that for a long time. I'm going camping, man.
Are
I'm
you?
going camping in the New Forest?
Oh, was
Oh,
that
yeah,
last
yeah.
weekend?
Yeah.
Love the New Forest.
Yeah. I'm
Was
just
your
gonna,
tent box?
yeah, with my tent box.
Yeah, buddy.
Yeah.
Oh,
God,
sorry.
You don't-
I'm so
You don't
sorry.
want me to talk about my tent on
I do.
live on YouTube. Okay, fine. That's
My
I'm
lady.
Love to. Lemon Tree.
gonna try and get us all free tent boxes.
Now
Having
sponsored
the
by
dream.
10 Box.
Joe, they have Lemon Tree have asked, can you go through your Zoya setup next time Dan is gone? So maybe that's something we need to think about.
That's a great shout.
Yeah, 100%. I could love to nerd out on that stuff.
I would watch that.
This one makes me nervous because I'm not sure how to say it.
Do it.
Have you talked about the? It's about like hot one. Is it
Hotone.
Oh yeah, that in itself is a I say hotone, but you're right. It could be hot one.
Yeah.
Could be hotone.
Yeah.
Hotone.
Hotone Verbera. Would you agree that Hotone wants to put themselves into the Line 6 HI tier market to keep Vailton on the mid tier and Sonic Cake on low tier?
Oh, that's
it's
really
just
interesting.
like speaking a different
No,
language.
that's great. That's a super interesting point. Have you checked out the new reverb they just released?
I sort of saw I completely forgot about it to this point.
Mhm.
So it's a reverb that also has like capture technology.
I
Is that right?
I think
Space,
I mean,
capture
I
technology.
could be totally wrong. I saw it. My brain is saying it's a reverb. It might be something
I
else.
think it is.
It might be a toaster for all I know,
Gonna
to be honest.
Google it?
Yeah, I think they are definitely trying to release some more things that are of a higher quality than what they first released. Because they used to be more of a budget brand, Hotone, when they were first a thing.
Yeah.
And then
Do you have any strong feelings about Hotone? Or are you
No,
laughing because it's
I was
Hotone?
just- I was just making myself laugh.
Just
And then remembered I'm on, we're live. I was just going to say something really silly. And decided not to.
Yeah, I want to give everyone a bit of context. That I text you like, do you want to come do the show? And I think about 30 seconds prior to us going on air, I was like, oh, it's live, by the way. So I'm really sorry.
No, that's
mate.
all right. I didn't put any studio makeup on or anything. And I immediately, as soon as I walked in, your post officer went in pretty hard on my shirt.
Yeah.
She did. She did. She did.
Yeah, she cooked you, mate.
But
She did.
I I don't know. You guys seem to be wearing shorts to work, and I didn't know that was okay. So I'll be talking to Dan about it.
Yeah, you should pass that on.
Yeah, I wore trousers.
This is what happens. Dan leaves.
Really hot.
The knees come out.
I'm really hot.
Yeah, we have really good aircon in here, but it's really noisy.
So can't have it on.
So we can't have it on, and then it in the summer, and then it gets really cold in here in the winter because again, it's just because we had a noise. We were about to do a show and we spent ages trying to track down this noise, change all these cables and stuff, and then we realised it's because we had the heating still on in the middle of winter.
Oh my god!
Should we talk about the other pedal?
Oh yes.
I was just going to say that my tent box has also got capture technology. So I'm going to put you in it and drive away. With you on top of my car.
Very good.
That was incredible. That was great.
Thanks, man. That's
I
why,
hope the
that's
internet.
why I was laughing.
I hope the internet also laughs.
No one else is going to laugh at it. It's too late. Let's talk pedals.
Yes, and finally, we talked the layered flanger, which is also from Last Gasp.
Yeah. So I just think it's super interesting because it's 3 different delay lines of different speeds
Now we're
that
talking.
all interact with each other and cause all kinds of interesting, weird noise. I think they share a feedback path.
That control?
And can they all do different? Can you set up lots of different speeds on each one?
They're I think they're set to specific speeds because of the way they interact with each other.
Mm-hmm.
So you've got a dry through, and then I can't read that because I'm old.
Got depth of speed and a range,
and then what
direct
the
level,
delay times,
and delay level, which has got 0.15, 0.25, and then 9.5 milliseconds.
That's very cool.
Feedback, and then we've got an expression control in and out,
and it will go all the way up to mad oscillation. But you can get some really interesting sounds where the delay lines kind of interact with each other, and either phase cancel or boost. So you just get these really interesting moving flanger tones. That I think is really cool.
Yeah.
Because I've never seen a flanger with 3 delay lines on it.
3 delay lines, Jeremy.
That is, it's also very beautiful. That was a nicely laid out.
I just feel like everything they do is just very cool.
Yeah, man.
Do you hear it?
Yeah.
Should do
Let's
a little.
put it on, shall we? And there we go. I always think it's quite a power move to be like, bam, we have 4 new pedals.
Yeah, just to
Post it, eke them out, be like, hello. Yeah, very cool.
Yeah,
very cool.
Just thought it was very interesting design.
Beautiful. I want one. I want one of those. Can I have one of those?
I don't work for them, so.
But you can sort it out. You've got loads of pedals here. You can sort it
You got loads of pedals, mate.
out. Give us a pedal, mate.
Give us a pedal.
Peter Verver, I'm not sure, Jake or Joe, if you'll have an answer on this. Hey guys, any news about the web interface?
Yes. Yes and no, in all honesty. I've got a meeting with Mike tomorrow, our software engineer, about it.
Oh, okay.
But it is
It's
in
happening.
process. It is in process. The last thing we've been working on, in all honesty, is a USB to MIDI connection, so you can have like a wired connection to your laptop or whatever, opposed to Bluetooth. And that's all sorted. In like the update speed, we had it updating and back up in super quickly, which is really cool. And the web editor is also being worked on at the moment. So there's no ETA locked in just yet, but that is what we're working on next at the moment.
That's exciting.
Yeah. And you'll be able to control everything basically on your G3 on a computer. Is the idea. You can program the entire thing on the web editor.
Yeah.
And Neil has said, exploring using an FX loop for the first time on my Mesa. It is buffered, but my analog delay loses all the attack of the note. What might be the issue?
I'm about to buy a Mesa.
It could be down to the level or the impedance of the effects loop. I'd like to see a video of it. So if you could send us an email to support@thegigrig.com, I'd like to see exactly what's going on, because there's a few things that could be causing that. It's weird. It's strange that you're saying that you missed the start of the note.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, send us a video.
And any pictures of the people out there in flowery shirts as well. Just take those selfies, send them to joe@thegigrig.com. You know.
Marty said, shirt is beautiful.
Thanks, Marty.
So,
there you go. The internet has spoken.
There he is.
Marty, your mum or dad.
and Simon has said, the aesthetics of the last pedal are like the shirt, beautifully laid out in an organised way.
Oh,
Oh,
So there's love for the shirt.
This is great.
I love
See?
that.
Can I come and work here?
Please.
This is really nice.
Please.
Thanks, lads.
And you've got good lumbar support as well. We've learned,
Great
so.
lumbar. Yeah.
top tier lumbar.
Top tier lumbar. Actually, my new album, Top Tier Lumbar. That's what I'm here to talk about.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all lumbar themed songs.
What is going on in John World?
I'm going to put out a new record. It hasn't officially been announced, but I've told you, so I'll
Soft
tell all you
launch.
as well. Pretty soon, going to announce it. And then I'm going on tour from October to right through to December 18th.
Those dates are out there, right?
They're out there.
Yeah, cool.
They're all on sale. Union Chapel in London is the big one, the big Christmas show.
Dude, gorgeous.
December 18th.
Oh,
That'd be
Yeah.
so nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A little bit of Christmas magic, hopefully. And then, yeah, working backwards from there, Europe, big UK tour, lots of special guests. And then kind of writing more songs now. I want to try and do an album a year for the next few years. If I
Cool.
Okay, man. Cool.
try,
Awesome.
just, stay on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
That's really exciting.
Yeah. I've said that now, and now I have to do it.
Mhm.
I think that's the way.
Yeah,
Basically-
that clip will always
basically
be
in writing.
forever timestamped and
Yeah,
emailed
yeah.
to you.
When I get writer's block and don't put out a record till 2036, people will look back on this moment.
Go, look, mate.
He
You said
said-
buy a fuzz pedal and put another record out.
Yeah.
He
that's
said,
wicked, man.
Yeah, man. Just trying to keep busy. It's yourselves, like being independent musicians.
Mm.
It's getting harder out there. So I kind of my way to deal with it is to risk even more finances and take bigger swings
Yeah.
in the hope of making even greater losses. And
such is the way.
yeah, and failing to fill up big venues.
Oh,
That's
bless
the
you,
no,
man.
I'm
No,
joking.
yeah, you are joking.
Yeah.
But that's the risk, and so just trying to keep going and hoping that people show up. And so far, so good, And this tour should be a really good one.
Epic, dude.
But I should get a fuzz pedal just to make it.
You should do.
Make it that bit better,
You
Well,
should do.
Gav Thorpe said for your Christmas date, you'll have to get yourself a ho-ho tone pedal.
Oh, go on,
Whoa.
Gav.
Oh, yeah.
There he
Oh,
is.
mate.
There
lovely.
he is.
That's great stuff. That. Wow. Thanks, Gav.
Gav Thorpe coming through as always.
Yeah, man. Wow.
That's incredible. It's kind of bowled me over a little bit.
Ho ho ho.
And-
Tone.
Matt from Blind Panic Devices. Hey
Hey,
guys, will you be playing up north anytime soon?
Is that to us or to
Yeah.
John?
Guess it can be a.
I think it's for you
Both.
guys.
We're announcing a bunch of dates on Monday that there are some northern dates on it. So, again, soft launch. Keep an eye out for that on Monday.
Yeah.
Are you venturing up north on the
Yeah. Leeds, Newcastle, Glasgow,
Glasgow?
Liverpool, Manchester, all in October.
Wicked, man.
Amazing.
The best places to play, man.
Big.
Alongside all the other places, which are also the best places to play. Yeah, we all know playing up north is different.
Yeah,
Yeah, it
totally.
It's great, man.
Totally.
So, yeah, looking forward to that.
Epic, man.
Yeah.
How long is the UK leg of it? How many dates?
20 dates,
Wicked.
I think.
Oh, amazing.
Big.
And then like 15 dates in Europe. And then back here for London. But then I'm also going to announce a few more gigs on the way.
Exclusive.
Yeah,
Cool, man.
exclusives.
Wicked.
Yeah,
Busy
man.
boy.
Busy. Trying to stay busy.
Yeah, epic, dude.
Yeah.
Sweet. The people got any more questions?
No, but Joe, weren't you? There was something we talked about
Yeah.
about the balance of something.
So,
I love your technical
Honestly.
know-how over there.
look,
Very
into politics.
stressful.
look, it's fair to say that Lizzie is herding cats,
Yeah.
known as Jake and Joe,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and now John. Triple J.
Triple J.
I wanted to ask you about how you deal with the potential issue of feedback when using acoustic guitars through effects.
Yeah, into a PA with a sound man that is sometimes unsympathetic, depending on where you are, right? And that's been I was talking about this the other day on my Patreon page. Ooh. Can't remember what it is. It's the URL. Anyway, it's patreon.com/John Smith. Anyway, it's a balancing act, right? The thing I've learned through all these years of touring is take it slowly. I always give the sound man or sound lady or sound person as much information up front as I can. And when I get there, there's a couple of things in the spec that are designed to irritate. You know, I send out a spec in advance, capital letters, no sudden changes in the lights. And if someone comes up to me and says, "Oh, so you don't like sudden changes in the lights?" I go, "Cool, you read the spec."
You know what? We have a production rack that has like in-ears and stuff in it, and we called it Alan Rigman.
Nice.
Again, we've shrunk it down, so it's now AJ, little AJ. But we did that so people would be like, "Oh, this is Alan," so we know that they've read the text back. Exactly. We do the exact same thing.
You have to, because there's a lot of people who just don't bother, and then you show up and it's a nightmare. So, as much information as possible, and then I think that I really do believe that when you're on stage and people have paid to see you, then, and this isn't coming from any kind of arrogance or ego, it's just you are the show and you get to dictate the terms, right? So if you want things to sound a certain way, you have to get there early enough that you get to spend the right amount of time making sure it sounds that way. And a good sound engineer won't complain. They'll just go, "Right, we're going to do this. We're going to translate this and give these people, what they've come to hear." So I always take that approach and be polite, be as friendly as you can to your sound engineer, but know your stuff. So I never run anything too loud. My stage is always really quiet so that they've got loads of headroom out front, and that's the main thing. Like, I've got a mic in my guitar. Sometimes I've got a condenser mic in front of me, so I have really low monitoring. And I ask them not to take it too loud in the house as well. And a nice high pass on the acoustic guitar really helps sometimes with all that low frequency stuff. I spent some time learning, I know what 250 is, I know what 300 is, so that I can kind of go, "Do you mind just, dipping a bit of 250 or whatever?" And a good sound engineer will appreciate that because they can't hear what you're hearing on stage.
Yeah.
So it's worth just learning all that stuff. And then kind of also hope for the best, because a lot of the time when you're in a big cavernous venue or a small venue with a pointy ceiling or whatever it is, or if you're standing in a bass trap, in a long cubic room, then people coming in will change everything.
Yeah.
So I don't know, I often get the sound person on stage and just say, "Look, can you hear that kind of wah?" And they'll go, "Yeah, right." And they go and dial it out. So it's all about conversation and back and forth and not playing too loud, which is not how you guys work, right? But when you're playing with acoustic instruments, I think you just have to accept that you're not going to be able to hear loads in the monitors if you want it to sound like an acoustic guitar.
Yeah, sure. Right.
But if you're just happy for it to be a piezo or a magnetic sound hole thing that you can crank up loud and sound like you're banging a plastic bag, then cool. But if you want it to sound like an acoustic instrument, there just has to be a lot of rolling with the punches and compromising.
Give
and take. I think I've gone in so many times and got into arguments with sound technicians, and life is just too short.
Definitely.
Yeah. And you don't upset the sound tech because they can make
life really hard for you. Yeah.
And you want everyone to have a good gig, and if you start the gig with an argument, it's not gonna.
No, it's terrible.
It's not gonna go very well.
No.
Like, even if you rectify that, that's just the wrong attitude to have.
Absolutely.
I definitely know what you mean about like resonances and stuff. Though, like, as a bass player, so many times we'll play a small room, and the first time you hit, say, I don't know, a low C sharp or a low D, you realise the room is tuned to D. So, and the room just like fills up. Everyone is looking at you, and you've like just touched the D, and the room just explodes.
Yeah.
And then you work out where that frequency is, and you dip it out, and then it's fine. But if you don't know any of that, like you were saying about 250, 300 hertz, if you're not familiar with approximately where it is, it becomes this absolute nightmare, and stuff just runs away. And you get just like, for me at least, you just end up with these, every time you hit a certain chord, it just runs away, even if you're just touching the note, because the room is resonant. Every room has a resonant frequency, right?
That's why you have an EQ pedal, isn't it?
Yeah.
So you kind of, you can go in and at least have some of that tempered before you start. That's why, the Quad Cortex has been so useful, because it's got this 9-band EQ. I can get really specific with the piezo and with the mic and just dip out all the potentially troublesome stuff. So in most places, when you plug it in and turn it on and turn it up, it sounds pretty much solid, And then, I mean, it sounds great, but it doesn't sound problematic.
Sure.
And that's taken me a long time to work out. Yeah, I mean, I've been gigging professionally this is my 20th year now.
That's wild.
Wow.
And so, yeah, man. And so I've only really in the last 5 years got my head around how to properly go into a venue and give them something that isn't going to take half an hour to figure out.
Sure.
Yeah.
That's really interesting.
Yeah, so it's a big process, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's interesting because, as the rest of us as touring musicians, you feel like it takes you a fair few years to like hone your craft and know what works and know what doesn't. And I started off with like, when we were first taking it seriously, I was carrying an 8x10 and a Ampeg CL around to every gig. Claire had a...
where every gig was either upstairs or downstairs. There was never anything with a flat load in.
Yeah.
Or you'd get to a venue, be like, oh, you're playing in the upstairs room today. Like, of course we are.
Claire was using a Diesel VH4 and the Diesel 412, which is equally like a black hole heavy.
Yeah.
Jake was using a
900
and a 4x12
and an orange 412, and those orange 412s, I swear, are lead lined.
Heavy. Yeah.
So heavy.
Yeah, they sound
Great.
so good.
Great
They're
sounding
so
cab,
heavy.
but so heavy.
Yeah.
But you eventually find other ways of doing it, and certain things work and certain things don't, and then you kind of feel like you get to a point where you know what you want, and then you try and condense it, which I feel like is where you're at. Because I think there's a lot of like kind of weird discourse between traditionalist pedal users and people using Quad Cortex, but I think they live in the same world. It's just being fit for purpose. And if you're like flying to gigs at any point, you don't necessarily want to be taking a pedal board on a plane, because we've all experienced stuff getting ripped apart because it arrives in an airport and all they see is a metal box with loads of wires in it, and they rip it apart, and then that's your show ruined.
Yeah, I mean, the first rig that Dan built for me on that Schmidt Array 450, I took it the following week to Denmark to play a festival, and it got dismantled at the airport in front of my eyes.
That's so sad.
And I had to watch the episode of that pedal show to understand how to put it back. It was crazy.
I always think of a similar thing. Do you know a band called Nothing But Thieves?
Yeah, man. My mate Ryan is their guitar tech.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's
So they
crazy.
used to have a guy called Stu.
Right.
It was their backline tech, and we've worked with Stu for a few years. And I, just before they were doing Polish Woodstock,
Right.
which is like the biggest festival in Europe, I believe, and they were main stage. I went down to London, rebuilt the boards, put it literally in a trunk to go to the airport, and then we got a FaceTime from Stu on the other side, like, yeah, the board's been ripped apart. We're like changing over in 20 minutes because it's been so tight, and we were like talking him through on FaceTime how to put the board back together.
That's horrible.
Yeah, it was very stressful.
Oh, man.
I've just got a question for John, if that's okay.
Do we?
From Marty. Mr. Smith, have you used acoustic IRs, and what is your experience with that?
Oh, that's a great question.
Yeah, I have not really. I had the Fishman Dobro Aura pedal for a minute, which was that kind of idea. Like it had a few presets, and I never got further than playing with it a bit and realizing that I much preferred a mic inside the guitar.
Yeah.
So I've never really gone there, but I know that stuff has come on a long way in the last few years, and all my rigs have evolved with stuff that's come out
Yeah.
in the last few years. So I'm really willing to give it a go. My friend Kahela Morrison, who is a great flat picker and trad musician from New Mexico, he lives in Glasgow now.
Wow.
He has got it's red. It's a box and there's a matching pickup, and I can't remember what it's called.
Oh, is it the Tone Dexter?
The Tone Dexter.
Yes.
Yes.
How did you do that?
That was amazing.
Can I remember like anything important that I need to buy milk after this? No, I can remember that.
And I heard him use that at a festival on a pretty big stage. And we were on the same bill, and he went on and he played that, and it sounded unreal with he's got like a D28 with the Tone Dexter pickup, and he's done the IR thing and it's captured it, and it just sounded perfect.
Awesome.
It sounded like a really nicely mic'd up guitar.
Yeah, right.
And I just thought, wow, I'm really missing something here. I'm missing a trick. So I do need to look into it. Yeah, I'd be interested to know what else is out there that can kind of do that actually. And yeah, because I've just got hold of an old Martin D18, and I'm wondering what to put in it for the tour later this year. So I'm thinking Tone Dexter maybe, or something similar.
What year is that, Martin? I remember you.
It's a 1957.
Oh,
That's
man.
insane.
Yeah, I traded all the way up. I
That's
traded
insane.
lots from the bottom
Yeah.
all the way up, and came away with this magical guitar. It's really something.
That's
I
awesome.
want to take it on tour. Yeah, but I need to
You
figure
are a
out.
brave man.
Yeah, because it's why I don't travel with valve amps anymore, because the valves get hot and smash and fall out. And, but
Equally, it's to be played.
it's to be played.
It's a tool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. And I don't mind things getting battered and cracked and scratched, because they can be repaired. And I don't know. I think an instrument that you travel with and that you love, it kind of is part of the story. If it gets my guitar builder Roger Bucknell at Filed Guitars feels differently, because he always has to repair massive holes in my guitars, because I split them, from playing them too hard. But
Picturing John being like, "Oh, look, this is fine. This means nothing." Punches a hole through
splang.
it. Thank you.
Yeah, he did get a guitar once that had a massive crack in the side after Air France did a number on it.
Oh,
But he put it back together, and it sounds better than ever.
Wishes.
I don't really mind. all that
Totally.
stuff. Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah.
I always make the joke. It's easier to identify it if it's stolen.
There
So
you
you can
go.
go, I did that, Dan.
Yeah. It's true.
Yeah.
true.
Yeah.
I did see actually, this is so irrelevant. James Bay had 2 guitars stolen
Oh
from his
yeah,
car.
you're right. I did see that yesterday
Yeah.
as well. He put on his Instagram story that he had 2 guitars stolen. Yeah.
Keep an eye out for him.
Even James Bay can get his guitars nicked. Eh?
I know, right?
I know, that's what I thought.
Yeah, he didn't really disclose details. It was
They were
robbed
just
from a
in his
house
car.
or whatever.
It
Oh,
was
it was in
his
his
car,
car, was
yeah.
it? Right.
That sucks.
Yeah, that is really sad.
There's nothing worse than there's a lot worse, but for the sake of this story, there's nothing worse than stealing someone's instrument.
No,
Yeah.
it's evil,
That is
man.
just such a violation.
Yeah.
And it's always my thing when I get home late from a gig, like thinking of all my
Yeah.
friends that have had instruments robbed from
Yeah.
the car, and I'm like, that extra 40 seconds
I never.
at 3 in the morning
Yeah.
I never
is
leave
less
in the car.
annoying than losing my
100%.
stuff, right?
Yeah,
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if I do, I cover it up. And my car, fortunately, because I've got a child, just looks like the most boring dad car. There's a car seat and puke everywhere, and so no one's going to steal anything. That's fine.
Good luck to him.
Good luck to him. Yeah.
Well, with
Already
that,
there,
we
I
have
think.
reached the end.
So quickly.
I do it's just a little gig rig info. Just to let anyone know that's waiting, we've shipped a lot of boards this week, so they're on the move, and you will get your notifications about that. So hopefully it's not too much longer to wait. But anything else from anybody?
I don't think so.
Thanks for having me, boys.
Man,
Thank you
thanks for
so
coming.
much.
Thanks for coming down.
Thanks for coming.
Thanks, Marty, and everyone out there. Appreciate it.
No, it's been lovely. But for now, we will say
Bye, 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 bye.
Bye.
Cheers.